How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Retrospect, your go-to retro gaming podcast. You're listening to episode 33. Today, we'll be talking about the new Tetris movie and what we've been playing. Joining me on the mics, as always, is my good friend and co-host, the one and only Brandon Saltalamacchia. Brandon, what's up, dude?
Hello. Doing good, man. The weather's picking up in England at the moment, and I'm in shorts. I'm happy. The sun's shining. I'm ready for episode whatever we're on now.
Yeah. Weather does a lot to make, I don't know, just the moods brighter, I've noticed. I don't know if that's the same for you.
Yeah, I get the more, so when we go into winter, I get, it's not like seasonal depression, but you know, everything's a little bit foggier, grayer.
Yeah.
You don't want to go outside. You don't want to smile. But then as soon as the sun's shining, I'm a different person, man.
Same here. And I think everyone experiences seasonal depression to some degree. Like, I know I do. Where like, yeah, you have gray, wet, cold weather for long enough. It's not the best for anybody. So yeah, when that sun comes out, it's the best. We went to the park this weekend. I mean, come on. What more could you ask for? Have you ever had a tri-tip before? Do you know what that is?
A tri-tip? No.
It's a giant cut of meat. That like my brother-in-law smokes. That's like his go-to move. Anytime we grill out or like barbecue, he'll make that essentially. And so yeah, had one of those this weekend as well. Delicious.
Oh, lovely, man. I was down to the coast this weekend with my partner and my dog, just because like this time of year, me and my partner, work gets busy. My partner's in events and stuff. She does things in the city.
Oh, cool.
So we like to get away. So we were down at the coast having afternoon tea, scones, cream, jam, a little bit of tea. It was delicious, mate. I love it.
That sounds
You have to hold up your pinky though. It's mandatory when you drink the tea.
Here we go.
You gotta hang out the pinky.
It's hard to do with this cup. This is a dangerous cup to do this with. I'm like holding it over my laptop and I'm nervous I'm gonna like break it.
Oh man, it's so British now. Ooh.
If you're watching, sorry, audio listeners, you need to watch on the YouTube to see that distinguished pinky come out from my cup. But yeah, so today we are talking about Tetris, but before we jump into that, I did want to mention really briefly, we are sponsored by a handheld history 88 to 95, where, gosh, I don't know how many weeks now into fundraising and all that jazz. So Brandon, why don't you tell the good people what's going on over there?
So Handheld History 88 to 95 is the second book in our book series, and it's dedicated to handhelds within that time frame. So the Sega Game Gear, the Atari Lynx, the Game Boy DMG, which is very fitting because we'll be talking about Tetris, which we also talk about in the book. So if you're a Tetris fan, you need to grab one of these. We're currently almost funded, hopefully, by this time. At the moment, I think we're about 60%. So, we're creeping up to being fully funded and getting this shipped to everyone at the end of the year. So check out handheldhistory.com if you want to learn more about the book.
Dude, that was a perfect riff off right there. That was
I've
nice.
said it so many times. It just slips off the tongue.
Well done. I still need to reference my notes when I'm reading off stuff for this podcast. So, I mean, you are a true natural. Also, while you are listening, be sure to leave Retrospect a review on your preferred podcast platform of choice. That would mean a lot to us, as we are still a fledgling and starting out podcast. It would go a long way. So please do that. Only 5-star reviews, nothing less. We'll take a 4-star review. That's it. And then check out retrododo.com for other articles. I think I saw another Pokemon themed article go up recently. I forget what animal it was themed around.
Samurott.
Yeah.
Is it Samurott or it was like horse Pokemon, something like that? So we got Emma, which is on top of the guides at the moment. Anthony's doing the news. I'm reviewing Tetris as I record this. I'll be reviewing that. And I think I finalized a video producer. We've had all these entries in and the videos came in. It is so hard, man. Like I think I care about people a little bit too much. So I'm like, I want to employ everyone, but I can't. So I'm like, last night I struggled to sleep because I know I have to let people down today or tomorrow. Oh, it's tough, man. I don't like this side of business,
Well, the fact that you care is probably better than what most people would be able to say. So the fact that you're losing sleep over it is usually a good sign that at least you care. At least you care.
Bit too much sometimes, I think.
Yeah. Well, good luck to whoever does get the position, and those who don't. Hey, there's always next time. There's always sometime down the road. Maybe when Retro Dodo is as big as IGN, the retro gaming IGN of the world, we'll be able to employ millions of people. It'll be great.
Millions.
All right, man. So let's jump into Tetris. Does that sound good to you? You wanna jump over?
I'm ready. I've just refreshed my brain with notes. I'm gonna rewatch the trailer again. I'm ready. When did you watch it? Last night? Saturday?
I watched it Saturday night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched it then today. I don't even know. It was a few days ago.
You watched it before me because I think you posted up a tweet saying something. I think it was like you watched it Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you notice that the screener thing that they gave us, it was like kind of janky. Like it wouldn't allow you to like easily make it full screen or like cast to a TV. It took me a while to figure out exactly how I wanted to do that. I don't know if you struggled as much as I did, but I was like, this is not as intuitive. Maybe they don't want people to easily bounce it to a different device so people can't, I guess, copy it or whatever. I don't know.
I think Apple are really smart with that kind of stuff, stopping any kind of recording, any kind of powering it through a HDMI cable that might record it and stuff. And my name would come up. I don't know if you saw that, like Brandon Saltalamacca. And that's the times like that I wish I had a smaller name because it was just constantly in the way. Just I was like, God damn, can I like get that out of the way? But thanks to Apple for hooking us up. It's always nice when a big company like that wants to work with us and get their content into the eyes of our audience. So that's always good. They didn't pay us. They were just nicely just said, hey, you want to take a look? And I don't think I was meant to share it with you, Jake, but I did because I'm a naughty boy.
The account manager said she didn't know exactly what was allowed to happen. So
I've maybe got paper trails.
Well, now we're recording it and this is going to be publicly available. So if this is an admission of guilt, essentially.
What a way to end the podcast.
Yes.
Taken down by Apple TV after 35 episodes. Bye-bye.
That would be awesome, but not awesome. All right. But anyways, we did get to both watch Tetris. Thank you for sharing. We kind of are framing this off of our knowledge of the game Tetris, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then how we would rate it at the very end. So at the very top, though, before we jump into our discussion, just you and I talking back and forth, I did want to mention this is directed by John S. Baird, who I looked up on IMDb, and I don't think he's had like any other like major titles. This is kind of his first like big directorial debut. Sorry, John, if there was other ones that I should know about, but maybe I just, am not experienced in your work yet. So forgive me on that side. And then the biggest star in this you might recognize is Taron Egerton as Henk Rogers, who is he's played like the Kingsman. I think he
Robin Hood. Was there a Robin Hood one or something?
I think so. Yeah, bow and arrows, and I think who's the guy that played Elton John in Rocket Man? Was that him?
Yeah,
too?
That was him. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's kind of picked up some pretty interesting roles, like some fun stuff. And obviously, I think if he picked up Tetris, he had to have been a fan of gaming in some respect. So it's kind of cool to see him in this. The release date, I don't know if you mentioned at the top, Brandon, is March 31st, 2023. So we're recording this ahead of time, but this will be out the day that it releases. I think probably just, I don't know, to avoid embargo, or maybe we can talk about it. I don't even know, honestly. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, they said we could talk about it whenever. I'm going to try and get the review up, the written review, as soon as possible.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I just checked really briefly. It's currently sitting at an 8 out of 10 on IMDb, a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 59% on Metacritic. So harsh 59. on one side. But see, like, again, there's audience score and there's critic scores. And so I just don't even know who's watching this. I mean, Metacritic, I feel like, tends to have more of like a gaming audience because that's where a lot of game reviews are. But I don't know. 80%, that can be really anyone's game at that point. You liked it or you didn't. So I feel like overall pretty good scores.
Yeah, I would. I would agree with that. And like you said, if the director's not done anything of this scale, I didn't know that, and I wouldn't have even predicted that. I feel like this was a very fluid movie. It was structured well. And one thing I noticed straight off the bat, the first 20 minutes was incredible. The amount of like fast editing, getting involved with how the Tetris game came to fruition, how Henk kind of discovered it. And I think his immediate obsession with it was very obvious through the editing and the music and the cut. So if you are on the fence of it, just watch the first 30 minutes. And I would bet a lot of money that you'll sit through most of the movie, because the first 30 minutes is incredible.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I guess we can jump into just what we liked about it first. We can roll there, and then we can talk about our knowledge or experience with Tetris later. That sounds like we'll throw that in at the end. Yeah, I'm similar to you. Like the movie essentially launches you into the story almost immediately. Like it's like quick. Here you go. Here's everything you need to know to catch you up to speed. And now we're telling you this very specific story about how they had to get Tetris essentially out of Russia. Like that really is the whole story. So yeah, going into this movie, I only knew that Tetris was a Russian game. I didn't know anything else behind how it all came to be. Did you have a familiar understanding?
Same story. I knew it was Russian. I didn't know there was all of this trouble with getting the rights to the game, because that's basically what they're trying to do throughout this movie. And there's a lot of antagonists that want the same. There's challenges. There's issues with the Russian government as well, because back then in the 80s, I think, America wasn't their bestest of friends. So even coming through the border, there was issues. It almost felt to me a bit like an action movie, like especially towards the end where there's the racing scene. They call it some chase scene.
Car chase, yeah.
See, this is where people will understand that I've never reviewed a movie in my life. I did media production at school, but I was terrible at it. I won't tell you what grade I got, but dang.
Car chase scene. Yeah.
Chase. The racing scene.
Yeah.
God, I sound like a 10-year-old.
They race. That's all right. That's what's happening.
Yeah. There was lots of bits throughout this movie that just kind of grabbed my attention. There was maybe halfway through that I noticed that I grabbed my phone. When you grab your phone to I'm just going to quickly check Twitter, something isn't grabbing my attention there. So, but apart from that, that's probably like 10 minutes in the movie, I think, in total.
Okay. Yeah. So like for me, I watched this on my laptop because I couldn't, I got it to port to my TV, like I said, but my wife was like, yeah, like you can watch this yourself. I don't want to watch Tetris right now. So she read her book while I watched Tetris on my laptop.
Nice.
I loved, even in the car chase scene, I don't know if you caught this, but like the subtle pixelated visual effects that they added to the cars when they were in those chase scenes, and just like a few of like the little transitions where it would show, like a pixelated map of him traveling overseas. It would always like go back and forth between those two, and I loved that effect. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't something like Scott Pilgrim, but it was just these little touches here and there. Like the sound would kind of crush out, kind of like a pixelated crush like sound, and then it would come back. I don't know. I thought those little visual touches were nice and not over the top, which I appreciated.
They did that when they introduced Nintendo as well, didn't they? To kind of cement what specific console they were talking about, because I think back in the 80s people called the NES the Nintendo. So they're like, oh, we have a Nintendo.
Just the
but
Nintendo.
Actually, they're talking about the console. So they had these like you said, pixelated overlays to kind of give the audience a bit more of an understanding of what's happened. And they also used the pixelated transitions as well into other scenes and other locations, which was quite good.
I also liked the whole scene with Nintendo. I don't know what you thought about that scene, but like the scene with Hiroshi Yamauchi, I thought that was so cool. Just, I feel like the casting was great for him. I don't know if I know that actor or not, but I feel like he embodied Hiroshi Yamauchi so well. And like, you could just tell that like Nintendo was like at such a powerful position at that time. Like they could do whatever they wanted. They were like, we have the Nintendo, we have arcade cabinets, and we are the leading console game manufacturer. So I don't know. I thought that whole scene was awesome.
Yeah, I loved that. It showed the power of Nintendo, that they had almost a conglomerate on the gaming industry. I knew Atari was like chipping in with stuff. There was no
Sega.
mention of Sega. Was there a mention of Sega?
Mm-hmm.
Was there? Oh, I missed that.
When they bought the rights to the arcade cabinets, and originally they're like, "What's this I hear about Sega buying the arcade cabinet rights or something like that?" And it was this whole ordeal.
Oh, I missed that. Damn. But I love that all of those were mentioned. Nintendo had a big play, I thought, in the movie. A huge play, actually. And the whole introduction of the Game Boy, that was magical. It kind of made me feel like a kid again. You know, when you open up the box, obviously they didn't show the box, but it was kind of like the Game Boy on like a Frankenstein type like chair that was all like wired up.
I think, but they had to have. I mean, I don't know if you've read Console Wars. I'm blanking on the author's name right now, but he worked at Sega in this time period, and I think he recalls a similar scenario with the Game Boy or something like that, or maybe it's when he saw the Sega Genesis or something like that. But it's this idea where there's just this huge white room, you know, and all that's in the center of it is this single new prototype console, you know, and I guess at the time that would have been mind blowing to see a handheld console able to play something like this. Just like, oh my gosh!
And they were talking about the specs, weren't they? Like it was something magical.
8-bit, yeah. It was like all these
like 1 megabyte of like RAM or something, and he's like one megabyte. Oh, oh god.
Color? He's like, no. Color would take 8 batteries. This one takes 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the real reason. I should know that. If that's the real reason Nintendo didn't go full color.
That's what they said. He's like, this gets you 30 hours of game time, you know, or whatever. And maybe the Game Gear takes 6 batteries. Right. We talked about that. So maybe that's why they stayed away. They're like, that's just wasteful and no one's going to bother with that. And maybe they were right because the Game Boy crushed and Game Gear didn't do as well. Sadly.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah. I thought the acting overall was solid. There weren't any moments where I was kind of taken out of the movie because someone's acting was so bad. I wouldn't say anything was like overly impressive. I was just like, yeah, this is it. I think my favorite and least favorite characters are the Maxwells. I think they played their roles perfectly. The father and son, rich billionaire buttholes. You know, they were awful. And I like at the very end how they kind of gave that historical context as to what happened. Like, yeah, they were laundering money and tax fraud and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, man. I don't know if you got this feeling, but it seems to me like that era of gaming was really cutthroat. I mean, it still is today in some regards. Like, I feel that sort of with Xbox and PlayStation, but yeah, that time especially, like there was just some nasty stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't know if even employees had many rights back then, you know, like they do now. It's kind of hard to even sack someone now. But back then, yeah, those guys were taking millions out of people's pensions and be like, we'll put that back in, don't you worry. They never did. So I think that was a good insight into like the gaming industry in the 80s, that it was just, like you said, cutthroat. And then you've got like Taron or Henk that's trying to fight the big dogs off with, you know, very little of his own money. And he's trying to get investments from everywhere. And I think he even bets his property on it as well, which the missus wasn't happy about.
Dude, absolutely not. Like, never in my life would I feel so strongly about something that I'd be like, here's my whole house.
Yeah.
And like,
but it does run on 4 batteries, so you know it's a good bet.
Yeah, it's a great bet. I mean, truly, like, it's insane that if I was betting on Mario, like an IP that I already knew was going to be successful, I'd be like, heck yeah. I mean, Tetris, I'm sure once someone played it, it was impressive, but the Tetris that they were playing wasn't even the finalized Tetris. It was the one that only cleared 1 bar at a time. So like the better version of Tetris started, I think, coming out later, but he played the first version. He was like, I'm betting everything on this. And I was like, dude, that'd be like me seeing like Puyo Puyo or something like else and being like, I'm going to bet my whole life on this game.
And he didn't even know the Game Boy was out then. Yeah. He was just going for, what was he, console and arcade rights or something, wasn't he?
Yes. absolute maniac. And then, he lost the arcade rights and was only doing I don't know, man. All of it was very stressful too. Like, I would never in a million years go through all of that to, make a living. If I was working somewhere else, I'd be like, all right, you know what? Time to call it wraps. We're gonna move on from this idea because that's okay. So what overall, like, what didn't you like? Was there anything that stood out about the movie that was just like, or
I had a couple of notes. So you can tell there wasn't a huge budget for this movie. Even like locations, there was a lot of green screen involved.
Yeah.
They switched between Japan, Russia, US, and London, I think, are the 4 locations. But even when you jump there, you've got like the B-roll shot of Russia or like something that's artificially made, and then it cuts to a room. There was a lot of single room uses throughout this movie, which, as someone who's kind of studied media production in the past and failed at it, you realize that they're trying to save a lot of money in certain areas. I noticed green screens that were poorly produced, I guess. Like there was one scene where they were running and they weren't even moving, and in the car as well. And if I can notice that, I'm sure a lot of professionals can. And it's just, there's just small things like that where I was like, what the fuck? Like they're floating, and like the guy's driving, like he's driving, but he's like doing that straight. Like the car's going straight, and he's like, vroom, vroom. So if that was me in my car, like me and my girlfriend would be like, God dang, Jesus! But like they're just going straight. Like there's no like hair waving, or it was just small things like that where I was like, what the hell? And I'd go back because I was like, we have to do this podcast. I'd go back and watch it again. I'm like, the fuck, who passed on that,
Who did this?
Yeah.
Did this?
But
someone who probably is a lot more qualified than I am to be talking about it, but
yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even notice that stuff. That's really
funny. Not? Oh, that's good. That's good. They're the only things really. But the storyline, the character development, I thought was really good. Like you understood what Henk was going into, and like we said, he was betting his whole life on it. His family were, stressed, and the government in Russia wouldn't let rights go out the country. It had to be reviewed by what looked like the military in a way, didn't it?
Yep. Government had to review anything. It was their trade organization or whatever it was called. That skeezy guy with the slick back hair that was cutting some off the top for himself.
Yeah. They were my only notes. Don't know about you if you saw anything.
Yeah, I think for me, like the realism was a bit over the top, like, or just they tried to do a little too much to make it. I mean, it's a movie; it has to be interesting, so I can't fault them for that. But when I read the actual story of how it all happened, I kind of watched this and then read the story of, how close is this to reality, and it sounded like it was a lot less of what we saw in the film. Maybe those are more true stories, but like in the thing that I read, it was just like, yeah, he went to Russia and like had to kind of deal with a lot of legislation and stuff, and there may have been some truth in like him being questioned or being held and stuff like that, but overall, like it wasn't probably as exciting as this movie. It probably was like a lot of like legal, like back and forth, like trying to sign contracts and just phone calls and all kinds of boring stuff. So in one realm, I think it probably was a little over the top, but I think it was still, it wouldn't have made for a fun movie. So you can't fault it there.
It was that moment when they were like changing contracts and they had all the different antagonists and protagonists in the rooms, and they just kept going back and forth. That's when I got a little bored. I'm just like somebody sign the fucking contract, like somebody, please.
Did this really happen? I don't even. Were they all in the same room? Probably. Who knows? I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of like life after too, because they at the very end they did at least show that Alexey made it. Pajitnov, the guy that created Tetris, he actually made it to America and was able to provide for his family. And he and Henk are still like really close friends. They own the Tetris company and do all kinds of stuff together. So that was kind of cool. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more as to like, okay, we're here in America now and like we're setting up the business and now it closes out or something like that. I think it would have been just a little nice bow on top, but that was fine.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. I like that Hank. What was the the guy who invented Tetris? I should know.
Alexey Pajitnov.
Yeah, Alexey. I like that he came over with his family because they were both the protagonists, and they both had families to take care of, and that's all it came down to, really. Just game developers and entrepreneurs in that space trying to provide for their family. But in Russia, it's very difficult to do that, especially when you're selling something to the Americans.
Yep, and it's communist, so everybody benefits from your ideas. You don't get anything, we get everything. Yeah, So that was wild. And then the last note I had was I didn't think Taron was super believable as Hank. Like, he's still pretty young, so I don't know how old Hank was when he was doing all this wheeling and dealing. I saw the old photos that they showed at the very end, and I was like, okay, maybe. But yeah, Hank. I mean, Taron is still just a little bit young and sprightly to be a executive working at a video game company. You know, like he would need to be a little more grizzled and probably just disheveled looking to be in the position that he's in.
Agreed, because he had a lot of failures before Tetris, didn't he? And they made that quite obvious. And he was just like a spring chicken, young, excited, running through the industry. Where you're probably right. In reality, he's just fed up. He's just fed up. Exactly.
All right. Well, so how would you rate this movie overall on a scale of 1 to 10? I kept this a secret from you. I want to hear your answer first.
So I am going to go from anywhere between an 8 and an 8.5.
Great point.
I love the movie, fast paced, and I feel like the director took some kind of. I feel like the director has understood that people's what's the word? Attention span is a lot lower recently. So the first 30 minutes was just impeccable. Boom, boom, boom. And he kind of keeps it through the whole movie, which I enjoyed. So it's a movie that I found myself stuck to, and it was very nostalgic. It plays the 80s kind of vibe very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
I just think some of the production side of things were a little low quality, and I would have liked to see more... what's the word? Just less green screens, you know, and more like sets.
Yeah.
More Nintendo.
Yeah. Just fly over to Russia. I'm sure they'd be pumped to have you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even today. All right. Yeah. Same for me. I think I'm probably right around an 8. I thought it was really good. It's a fun movie. I didn't expect it to be this fun, to be honest. And I thought they did a great job delivering on that. And one thing you mentioned really briefly, the soundtrack, actually, I don't know if you caught this, they pulled in the Tetris theme the entire time, but they like slowed it down or like sped it up or changed it to a major scale to make it more uplifting and like exciting near the end. I thought that was cool. I thought that was a nice touch. So the soundtrack overall was very good. I would like to listen back through it without the movie and see how it sounds. But yeah, overall good movie. Overall,
there was a remix. I had a note at the end. There was a remix of Tetris. I don't know where it was. That right at the end was. They might have even been at the. See, this is where my movie reviewing skills. Where the words come up and
the credits.
The credits. I was going to say titles, man. Damn. When the credits ran, that they had I can't remember what it was called, but they had a remix of Tetris there with some kind of modern vibe, which was really, really cool.
That is hilarious. Yeah. The titles, the credits, same thing. Titles
when works. The words go up.
The words, the Star Wars words. Yeah. Oh, well, cool. Yeah. So if you guys are interested, definitely check it out. It's on Apple TV Plus. I'm sure you can rent it and watch it there. If you're a fan at all of Tetris or really just that era of gaming or just a fun video game themed movie, I would say check it out.
100%. 8 out of 10, worth a watch. It's 2 hours of nostalgia, and I thought the acting was pretty good. Like Taron, I think Taron is British, but his American accent was pretty solid throughout as well.
Yeah, that's how it is a lot of these days. When I find out someone is British or like not an American after the fact I've watched it, I'm like, oh man, it's kind of confusing. I was like, I was so convinced that you were like an American because of your accent. Acting, wow, can go a long way. All right, so last segment here then, my favorite segment always is Brandon, what are you playing?
So the new Ambernic RG405M just came in. For those watching on YouTube, you can kind of see it. Metal shell. For those that know, I'm a big fan of metal handheld. So I'm just playing PlayStation 2 games on this thing. Smashing God of War on it. It's doing okay. So yeah, just testing and fiddling with some PlayStation 2 games.
What's your go-to test game? I made this joke on Twitter the other day. I was like, I vote going forward. Kingdom Hearts is always the test.
I tried it after your tweet, and it's doing pretty good. It's definitely not flawless, but Kingdom Hearts is up there once you get past all the trials and stuff. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts and God of War is your go-to for pushing it to the extreme. Two great games.
I just like Kingdom Hearts. I think the music's really good, so it's just like, yeah, play that game instead. I like that one. God of War I haven't played in a while, so I'm sure it's good too. For me, I picked up Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Ooh.
Haven't started playing it yet. It's just sitting on my desk out there. But really excited to jump into that. But I am close to finishing Metroid Prime Remastered. That game is so good. It's so good. It's so good. I just wasn't in the mood to be scared just yet last night. I had some time to play last night, and I was like, I don't want to be scared right now. So
I can't do it, man. My partner's into scary movies and stuff. I can't do it. I'm like, why would I pay or waste 2 hours of my life to like crap my pants a little bit? Like, that's
have nightmares for days. Yeah, it's terrible, dude. I don't understand it either. But however, RE4, Resident Evil 4, is a game that gives you enough like power, like to feel like you're competent. Whereas some other game, like even Resident Evil, they give you like nothing. And you're like, I'm gonna die. Like this.
6 bullets in a bottle.
Exactly. Yeah. So this one's a little bit better in terms of making you feel like you can tackle the next incoming wave of terrifying things.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. So I'll close this out here then. So that is all we have this week. Listeners, are you excited for Tetris? Let us know by writing into retrospect at retrododo.com or check out our polls on Spotify. Brandon, thank you so much. Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Retro Dodo everywhere. And maybe in a few episodes, we're going to tease a new online publication that we're working on that's going to be a sister brand to the Retro Dodo. Only because small businesses that we're building, when you put all your eggs in one basket, it can be a little risky. And we want to kind of dive into another niche that does overlap with Dodo. So I think a lot of you listeners will love the launch of this new brand. But that's not going to be for a while. But we might tease it here exclusively on the podcast when we get closer to the time.
Exciting times ahead. Well, I don't post very much, but you can find me on the Twitters as well. Bitblogist, BITBLOGGIST. And until then, catch you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.